The European Union is in crisis as the European countries block its budget and the Brexit trade talks get suspended. Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of the night. So, things don't seem to be going too well for Brussels and the Eurocrats in the European Union, specifically the European Commission and Ursula von der Leyen. So, the issue we have is that obviously because of the current situation globally and the economic recession in Europe, these guys decided to centralize everything as usual. They decided to come with an emergency budget. Obviously did some emergency measures alongside the actual long-term budget for the European Union, and they needed to get the support of all the countries, all the EU 27 nation states. Some of them are not too happy because of the way the authoritarian and undemocratic measures that are being imposed onto them by the European Commission. So we're going to talk about this, but also the Brexit trade talks. Firstly, the issue we have is that Hungary and Poland, who are not your typical Euro-loving member states, are now holding up the 1.8 trillion euro budget because, specifically Hungary as well, the migration issue and the border crisis is actually hitting these countries more than obviously the Western countries, even France, because they have been responsible for everything that's been hitting from the Middle East and obviously North Africa. And the European Union haven't really been supporting them. So what they've decided to do is to go against the European Union's rules in terms of the open borders and Schengen, things like that. And the European Union are not too happy. So now the EU want to punish them. I'm going to explain what's exactly happening in that situation. But before we do that, let's talk about the other shambolic situation in Europe. The Brexit trade talks. We literally only have, I don't know what is it now, it's towards the end of November now. We have about a month to go because obviously if there's going to be any agreement, it needs to be soon because the European Parliament needs to approve it and there's a whole bureaucratic process. Today, the Brexit trade talks have been suspended. Why? Because they've now been added to the new cases data. So Michel Barnier tweeted that one of the people, a part of his team, have been tested positive, and but both teams have been in close contact. So Lord Frost and Barnier, so Barnier says that we decided to suspend the negotiations at our level for a short period. So the problem is that it was about a few hours ago, earlier this morning and yesterday, both sides were sending out signals that I think we might be reaching an agreement in the next few hours. Sure, and somehow, because of this, they've decided to completely suspend it, at least when it comes to Barnier and Frost. So if it was so close to reaching an agreement, if you just had the details to work out, obviously your team could do it anyway, they've stopped talking to the media. They've stopped telling them that the agreement could be reached now. So if there is some sort of agreement coming up, then you're going to have to wait another few days or a week or so. It's not really helping their deadline because you're now going to see an accidental no-deal Brexit, which I'm not complaining. In response to this, Lord Frost also said that I'm in close contact with Michel Barnier about the situation. The health of our teams comes first. I would like to thank the European Union Commission for their immediate help and support. How did the Commission help and support you? Like, did they become doctors suddenly? Like all the bureaucrats in Brussels are now, oh yeah, so we are now experts in health. So I'm going to get in touch with you guys, give you some medicine, you'll be fine. Just get some, vitamin D into your body, and you'll be fine. So this is the shambolic situation of this, but there are some good news. Because do you remember when Remainers said that if you vote to leave, you can't just negotiate your own trade deals, and if you do, it will take 10 years, each one of them. Because look at the European Union, it took them 8 years to negotiate with Canada, and they're still going on the details. Every other negotiation they had, it took them between 5 to 10 years. They didn't realize that it's a lot easier to negotiate a trade deal if you're just one country, because we have good news. Canada and the UK, the trade deal is now getting close. It's an interesting situation because obviously the main leaders will take the credit. So people like Boris Johnson and Justin Trudeau In reality, with all the problems that you are seeing from the Canadian government, from the British government, it's actually not even them. People who need to take the credit, and specifically one individual from the UK side, is Liz Truss. So Liz Truss has been leading these trade talks. She's also been busy negotiating other trade deals. You have the South Korea one, you had Japan. You also obviously have the close arrangements with Australia and New Zealand. And so, firstly, Kanzuk is now getting closer and closer. So all you need is the UK to reach an agreement with all three countries, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and then we could actually form a new relationship between the four nations to actually get closer, and all the things, all the values that Kanzuk as a group, as an organization and campaign are promoting. So this is actually good news. Now, so don't let Justin Trudeau and the others take credit. It's actually the one good minister that we have, one of the few good ministers that we have in government, is Liz Truss. She's not getting involved in any drama, any gossip politics, any petty games. She's just heads down. She's focusing on work, signing trade deals, winning. We're getting tired of winning. So well done, Liz Truss. Now let's go back to the chaotic situation that is the European Union, because the Commission are furious with Hungary and Poland. There are also a number of other countries who've been complaining about the EU budget and the way they've been treating countries like Hungary and Poland. So now, Ursula von der Leyen, according to Breitbart, could be planning to punish these countries. Why? Because they want to control their borders. Remember when the whole point of the European Union was that, we're just a family, but you still have your sovereignty and democracy. It's just a club. We just get together and trade. We're not going to tell you what to do. You remember that? Yeah, not really. It's not happening anymore, because this is the new line that you're seeing from Brussels. So what we have is that the leadership in Hungary is now standing by its decision to block the whole 7-year budget for the European Union over the inclusion of the new powers, which would, they claim, allow the political persecution of member states that don't follow the Brussels globalist playbook on matters like mass migration. So this is the whole point of the blocking this massive deal, the 7-year multi-annual financial framework, or the MFF, which is, in short, it's just the EU's budget, is actually going to be problematic for all member states. And so if Hungary and Poland are continuing with this plan, obviously now we're going to have situations where France and Germany are now going to get involved, because right now they're just allowing the European Commission and the Council essentially to punish Hungary. I don't think Hungary is going to back down. We know Viktor Orban, how stubborn he could be when it comes to defending his own country and his own sovereignty. So this situation is just going to escalate, and we've been saying this for the past few months, when the escalation started slowly with the emergency powers, and then this talks about the potential budget. Even at the time, a few months ago, Viktor Orban was signaling a potential storm, a political storm, and now that's happening. This is just the beginning of a massive turmoil in Europe for the next few months, potentially a year or so, and it could bring down the whole Eurozone if this budget doesn't get sorted out. Now, Viktor Orban himself has now said that in Brussels today, they only view countries which let migrants in as those governed by the rule of law. Once this proposal gets adopted, there will be no more obstacles to tying the member states' share of common funds to supporting migration, and obviously using the financial means to blackmail countries which oppose migration. Now, we could, be objective, criticize any member states that is going against the rules that those countries have agreed to. But the problem with the European Union as a globalist international body is that it wasn't Viktor Orban who signed up Hungary to the European project. The issue with things like this is that someone might have done it in the past, a few decades ago, agreed to join the European Union, but there are no referendums, there's no review of the memberships. So as we've been spending every year in the European Union, not just we as in the UK, but every member state, we've been seeing more powers becoming more centralized, without the people, and not just necessarily the people. I'm not even just talking about the silent majority. I'm talking about the actual governments having any say. They have the, shambolic European Council. They think, oh yeah, it's democratic countries and their representatives are there. It doesn't work that way, and this is why the whole project is failing, and this is why Brexit trade talks are also in a weird situation, and it could result into a no deal Brexit. So well done, Barnier. I don't even know how that happened, but this is the latest update I have for you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get the latest content on a daily basis. We are the largest and fastest growing daily news show that's not mainstream in the UK. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.